Hello there viewers and welcome to Revelation TV. Today's program is Get Well, Stay Well and my name is Cyrus Fernando. As always and every week, delighted to be joined by Felicity. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Cy. This is great. We've got a lovely program today. We're going to give everyone a great holiday in a beautiful Christian health center. And the idea is really that I want people to see how easy it is to do all this at home. You don't have to go a long way away. But we all need, perhaps every year, to have a detox. So when people have their annual holiday, they ought to be able to completely detox, prioritize their lives, and detox in body and mind and spirit. So bring the Lord back into your life and detox, forgive everybody, you know, totally relax. And really that's the way to heal the body as well.
Just remind our viewers why they need to detox. Some of our viewers might have seen our programs about the MAD diet.
Well, we're living in a very stressful world, and we're really eating the wrong things. You know, we've all been brought up on the MAD diet, which is the meat and dairy, and have been taught by our parents and probably taught our children that that was the healthy way. You know, drink your milk and eat up your chicken and your meat. And what I've discovered is that the science shows that those are the things that are causing so much sickness in society. So we've got a perfect storm, really. We've got the stress, and then people are eating the wrong things. They're eating far too much animal protein, and we want to come back to the fruits and vegetables, which of course God told us to eat in Genesis 1:29 and 30, right at the start. And, you know, Christians think they know their Bibles, but they actually omitted that first word in the first chapter of the first book of the Bible, where God actually tells us what we should be eating. So when people go back to that, they actually heal. It's amazing. Even in a week, you can turn your health around.
Now, you mentioned stress. Stress is something that most of us go through on a daily basis. How much does stress affect the food that we're eating?
Well, it does, because we make all the wrong digestive juices. We make a lot of hydrochloric acid. We make cortisol in our body. Our adrenal glands get exhausted, and so we are actually destroying our immune system. And we have to really address the stress, and convert it into energy, which we can do when we think about things the right way with the mental detox.
And today's program is about the Christian health centers. What is that about?
Well, Christian health centers are a lovely kind of spa. You know, there are spas all over the world where people can go and have their annual holiday. It's a really good idea to go there and have a holiday there rather than perhaps a noisy hotel or, you know, something tiring. If people really want to have a great holiday and feel marvelous afterwards, go to a spa. They'll be drinking wheatgrass, they'll be drinking lots of water, they'll be doing their colonics, and they are going to feel amazing when they come back and full of energy.
Okay, well, let's take a look at our first clip today. This is the Optimum Health Institute in San Diego, which is a Christian health center. Let's take a look.
My life was totally out of control. I was eating poorly, I was depressed, I had no focus. My life just wasn't working.
I was depressed. I felt like my life was over. I felt like I was dying.
In 2 separate states across the United States stand 2 holistic healing missions for bringing people to wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. A place where people of all traditions are welcome to participate in a holistic healing program.
Before OHI, I didn't really know exactly what holistic healing was. Now I do. I understand the concept of body, mind, and spirit.
Founded in 1976, Optimum Health Institute is a healing ministry of the Free Sacred Trinity Church, a non-denominational faith-based organization rooted in the Judeo-Christian teachings.
At OHI, the mission is to serve as the change agent for improving the mental, physical, and spiritual well-being of everyone we touch. Our goal is to help bring people into wholeness.
The OHI program consists of 3 week-long sessions where participants experience ancient spiritual disciplines that promote healing.
Participants learn to detox and purify the body with a raw foods diet, wheatgrass juice, fasting with fresh juices, mental and emotional detox, and exercise. Guests quiet the mind with meditation and journaling, and strengthen and renew the spirit with prayer, study, and celebration. In an atmosphere of faith, hope, and love, people experience God's healing presence for themselves and others.
One of the fortunate people to benefit from OHI's philosophy and program is Robert Michelson.
I found the OHI website, and I must have called them 30 times, talking to different people in different departments. And one woman answered the phone. I don't remember who it was, but she said, well, my aunt had diabetes, and she went through the program. That sold me. So I decided to drive down from Oakland, where I live, and come to the OHI.
After seeking medical attention without success, Robert turned to OHI in San Diego.
Here at OHI, what was very clear to me was that these people were really basically healing each other through God. And I learned to let go, I learned to relax and realize that I'm being taken care of by God. And that's big for me.
OHI creates a sacred space in a monastic-like setting for guests to devote the time to healing themselves with like-minded people and a supportive staff.
Well, to quiet the mind and strengthen the spirit, our participants learn key holistic concepts, such as how to properly prepare and combine foods, how the body works, and how to cleanse it. At OHI, we help people achieve wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. All 3 are interconnected. Learning how to purify and detoxify the body allows them to focus on what really matters most, and then maintain a daily balance for living.
Hi there, welcome back. That was just an introduction to the Optimum Health Institute. What I want to ask is, they mentioned about the holistic healing. What is that?
Well, it means you're healing in body, mind, and spirit, the whole being. And you know, our minds get so messed up by what's happened in life. Very often, you know, we're carrying baggage from the past, and we really need time perhaps to sort ourselves out. If you just go on a frenetic holiday, the usual kind of holiday where you're traveling around, you're not going to really have time for yourself. So when you come to a place like this, which is in a Christian setting and also in a lovely peaceful place, you know, you're quietening the mind and healing the spirit, as she says. And of course they have Christian counselors there as well. But it's all very friendly, it's people are very loving towards each other, and people change dramatically. You know, people who arrive stressed and difficult will completely melt within a week. And usually on a Friday they have these sort of graduation ceremonies where people tell what's happened during the week. And you know, they all say, when I first arrived I thought, what have I let myself in for? And by the end of the week they're extolling the virtues of it. And I think we all need to give ourselves that special time to detox. I think it's really, really precious.
What advice can you give to our viewers out there who maybe can't afford or unable to fly to San Diego, but want to detox their life and detox their lifestyle and de-stress?
Well, that's why I do the simple weeks that I do here. And although we haven't got a proper centre, you know, people stay in hotels or in flats, and I give them juices so that they can get on with their juice and make their wheatgrass and all this stuff. So we can do that, but actually you can do all this at home if you just research what they're going to do there, which is what we're going to do in the program today, show the exercise and you know, the sort of guidance sessions that they have. You know, you can read your Bible, you can get into a crowd with some other people who want to do the same thing, and have a very simple week of easy food with fruit and vegetables, and really get into it so you detox in body and mind and spirit.
Now, they said they renew the spirit with love and prayer. The prayer is something that's interesting. Why do they feel it's important to have God in their life when they're doing something like this?
Well, of course, we come from God, we're going back to God, we're just on a journey here, and sometimes we need to be reminded of that, I think. You know, we get so bound up in whatever is happening in our lives that we forget that God is central. And so it's absolutely vital to have maybe 1 week a year where we actually come back to what we're really doing here on Earth. We're on a mission, we are here for a certain amount of time, and it's really prioritizing, isn't it?
It is. Okay, well, let's take a look at our next clip. This is talking about the mind, the body, and the spirit. Let's take a look.
While OHI is not a medical facility, miraculous healings are a regular occurrence. OHI's staff guides and teaches each individual how to detoxify the body, quiet the mind, and strengthen their spiritual ties to God. When the mind and body are aligned to the sacred presence all around them, miracles happen and healing becomes a part of their daily lives. But it's up to each participant to dedicate himself or herself to the process in order to ultimately reap the rewards of a healthy body, quieted mind, and renewed spirit. OHI offers educational classes and activities drawn from 22 ancient spiritual disciplines that are taught by most religious traditions.
We have 22 spiritual disciplines that we practice, which are designed to purify the body, quiet the mind, and build that golden bridge to one's spirituality in order to achieve optimum health. Individuals are free to practice whichever spiritual disciplines that work for them in order to bring themselves into wholeness.
Also, as part of the 2-day ancient spiritual disciplines, all OHI guests and adherents are encouraged to participate in the release ceremony.
In the release ceremony, we discuss letting go of something to create an opening or space for something new and positive to move into.
People from all walks of life, religions, cultures, and beliefs come to experience the Optimum Health Institute program, and each learn how to empower themselves to heal their mind, body, and spirit. For some guests and adherents, the OHI program makes such an impact on their lives that they decide to empower others in their healing.
The missionary program was developed for individuals who have completed 3 weeks at Optimum Health Institute and want to continue their journey of healing and spiritual growth.
Missionaries live at the San Diego Mission or Austin Mission for a minimum of a 3-month period and provide a maximum of 18 hours a week of service. The remaining time is spent focusing on their healing and spiritual growth. After spending 3 weeks at OHI San Diego, Melissa Eckert decided to be of service to the mission and others in need of healing by being a missionary.
I became a missionary because once I had gone through the program and had 3 weeks of it, well, even actually the second week, I knew that I needed more time. I knew that this was working, and I just needed more time. And so I went home for a week and came back, and I just feel so blessed to have this opportunity.
And for those who have completed the 3-week OHI program, they can opt to stay additional weeks without committing to the missionary program. Since 1976, many participants have become an active part of OHI community by encouraging others to participate in the OHI program, by returning to OHI regularly, thereby continuing their journey to come into wholeness and to achieve optimum health.
A sick person knows they're sick, and when their symptoms go away, they know they're better. And it didn't happen immediately, but I identify myself as a healthy person now. And
Hi there, welcome back. Just explain to me, what are the foods that they eat at the this health institute?
Wheatgrass and wheatgrass and wheatgrass.
And wheatgrass. Now, what are the benefits? What is wheatgrass? And what are the benefits?
Wheatgrass is amazing. You see, it's a complete food, and it's got all the vitamins, all the minerals. It's got the most amazing amount of nutrients in it. So, although it doesn't taste terribly exciting to start with, you learn to grow it, you learn to juice it, you learn to drink it every day, and you find that the health benefits are so great that in fact you start enjoying it. And you can put it in a glass, you can moisten the glass with a little bit of lemon, fresh lemon that you squeeze, and put a little bit of the lemon inside the wheatgrass as well, so you're smelling lemon and you're tasting a bit of lemon as well. And you just whack it down, and some people actually love it.
Yeah.
So I'm always surprised.
We must bring some onto our show one
well,
week.
I don't want to test you on that yet, Si. My goodness me. We don't want any accidents on the show. So,
but it's something you can grow as well. I mean, you can even grow it in a window box or inside the house.
It's lovely, yes, it really is. You can get these Fresh Life sprouters, which has a barrel with water in, and it automatically waters the wheatgrass as it grows, because you start from the little seeds. They look like little golden seeds, and within 11 days they make the most fantastic emerald green grass that has this wonderful benefit with it. So, people learn about wheatgrass, and once you've really tasted the benefits of it, you want to grow it, you want to keep it in your life for good. You can also get it powdered, and you can get it frozen as well if people can't grow it.
What is the difference between frozen, powdered and freshly grown?
The fresh is much the best, obviously. It's, it's full of the living nutrients, because you're actually cutting it as it harvests, and so you're actually at the very right moment, and so you harvest the whole thing together, and you're starting to grow the next one at the same time. And then you can keep the wheatgrass that you're not eating that day. You can put that into the green bags and keep it in the fridge, and then you just juice it day after day. It'll last for a week like that, but you have to cut it just at the right moment. It's as the grass blade starts growing a daughter blade off it. They call it the jointing phase, and when that happens, it's absolutely ripe for harvesting. And it's fascinating, actually, growing it and learning how to grow it. My grandchildren love that, and it's really good for them as well. They actually like it. They think it tastes great.
Excellent. It's about educating the children and having them to eat the healthy foods. I wanted to ask you about the Health Institute, the Christian Health Institutes. What is the fundamental, what are the foods that they're eating there? I mean, what advice can we give to our viewers who are watching today?
Well, they're going back to God's diet, obviously. They're going back to the Genesis 1:29 and 30 diet, which is the absolute basis of my ministry, is that God has provided these wonderful foods for us. And people can get well and stay well when they go on them, which is what I actually had to do myself in my life. So I know that this works, because I've worked every step of the way through, and I know that when we come back to God in our life, we come back to the foods that He has told us to eat, and we really detox in body, mind and spirit, then lo and behold, the whole body starts to heal, whether it's cancer, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, or headaches, or
most importantly, prevention as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the fun thing is that the young people are really quite keen on this, because they've seen the disaster that their parents have made of their lives, and the diabetes, which is so epidemic now, and cancer, of course, which is huge. So I think the young people, the intelligent young people, are quite keen to learn a better way. And this is the better way. God's way is always right.
Now, we're aware of juicing. Just for some of our new viewers out there, what is juicing, and what foods should we include in the juicing?
Well, the point of the juicing really is that you couldn't eat 50 carrots a day, but you could juice them and drink them in a glass. So it's an easy way of getting the real nutrition into your body, because your body is not going to be well if you're not feeding the cells. We have to eliminate the toxicity out of the body, and we also have to put in the good nutrition. So that's why we juice. And so some people blend as well, which just means that you're having a slightly coarser juice, you're having more substance in it. And some people like that. If people have been very ill, then certainly you put them on the juices, as I did, because I had pancreatic cancer, and I really couldn't, I just couldn't digest anything really. Water and just the juices, and gradually the cells will respond, tumors will go down, and the arteries, of course, clear out. So we get so much better, and then, of course, if you stick with it, you get well and stay well for good.
And what are the best fruits and vegetables that we should be juicing?
Okay, well, the green juice, obviously, is the one. So you can put a little bit of your wheatgrass in the ordinary green juice. So say we might start with cucumbers. I always like to start with cucumber, because they make a lot of juice and they taste really nice. And then you can start putting the other things in, any other green vegetables really that you've got. So you can do lettuce, you can do sprouts. I don't mean Brussels sprouts, I mean the sunflower sprouts, the buckwheat sprouts, broccoli. You can put anything, any green vegetables in. And if you put a little lemon in with it, and maybe half an apple or a whole apple, to start with, of course, you tend to put a bit more fruit in because that's going to, people are going to like the taste of it. And then as you get used to the green juice, you can be slightly more radical, add a bit more wheatgrass, and you really don't notice it as you're, mixing all the juices together.
Now with the Christian Health Institute, we can see there that they bring the people together and they feel as one, and they share their situations, and they mention something about the release ceremony. What is that?
Yeah, that's fun. It's a way of releasing the burdens. The Lord has said, lay your burdens down, and we can do that and rely on Him, because through Him we are made one again with God, which is great. A lot of people have been through a lot of problems, and they're carrying a lot of baggage. So one of the ways that they teach people to do is to write down, during the daytime when you're quiet, not in the middle of the lectures, but you go out and you quietly write down the things that are concerning you, and then you discuss them in the group. The Americans are really good at doing that. I mean, the British say, I'm not going to say anything, but the Americans will come out and they'll tell you absolutely everything. It's their culture. It's probably much healthier than ours.
Yeah.
And what you can do then is discuss it in the group with a counselor there who gently guides the thing. And then people can we have a big furnace in the middle, and people can burn all that rubbish that they've been carrying, or you can actually drop it into a stream or into the river that's flowing away. Anyway, it's something symbolic that means that you are shedding your burdens. So it's just a little way of doing it, and people really quite like that.
Fantastic. Well, let's take a look at a testimony here from Ben, who attended the Optimum Health Institute. Let's take a look.
Well, this place is really a sanctuary. It's nothing like society. In society, everybody's trying to compete, try to be better, try to get something done. And in society, people are pushing people down on a daily basis, trying to just get their things in order. Here, people are in a relaxed place. It's like an ashram. They were explaining to us about how proper food combining is really important for our bodies to be able to break up food properly without having to put extra stress on our organs. They give us the tools we need to make better choices and understand that what we're doing, to be conscious of what we're doing, to know what effects they have on our body. And they explain how each organ reacts and how hard it has to work to break up things and the chemical processes it has. Wheatgrass is extremely powerful. It makes you feel amazing. It's so alkalizing. It just recharges you, recharges all your cells in your body. You just feel like you're on a different level. Well, I mean, here they teach that human interaction is extremely important, and that when you're not being social, it can make a human sick, because people want interactions with human beings. And maybe people may feel like they want to be alone and everything like that, but really, deep down, most people want someone that they can talk to, want someone they could express their emotions to. The problem is that out in society, people have their defenses up. They don't want to let go. They just want to hold everything in. They don't want to explain what's going on with them, because most people feel like they're going to come off weak and they're going to make a fool of themselves. It's like getting bit by a cobra. It's not the cobra that kills you, it's the venom. And if you keep that venom in and just hold it, you're just going to keep on getting poisoned. And when you cry like that, or you just purge out your emotions, you're purging out the poison. They don't force any doctrines, no scriptures, no religions, no nothing. They are very open to what you currently believe, and they also help you understand more things about your physical body, and how they explain that your heart is very powerful. And in our modern society, they say that our heart has only purpose is to be an involuntary muscle and pump blood throughout our body. But the heart is extremely intelligent. This place is Optimum Health Oasis. They call it Optimum Health Institute because they're teaching you, but really it's a place where you can grow as an individual and understand yourself on a higher level. And to me, it's very powerful because there's a lot of fake information out there and a lot of people who are projecting fake things, and we all affect each other on a daily basis, even if we do not consciously perceive it. And here people are not going out of their way to do things like that. So I feel strong about this place to be a place where if someone needs to find their balance and their direction in life, their path and what is right for them, this is the place.
Hi there, welcome back. I just felt quite touched there with Ben's story. And like he said, in society people compete with each other, and I guess that's the real world, isn't it, Felicity?
Well, it's the world system that we live in, but of course we don't really belong here, do we? You know, we're here on a visit, and it's up to us to try and change the world around us, you know, with the way we react, the way that we present ourselves to other people. We can actually change our immediate environment. It's very interesting. And people love to find their balance. They love to come somewhere where they can really be themselves and listen to wise counsel. So, you know, it's the mental side is absolutely as important as the food that they're being given.
It's like they mentioned as well, it's about the environment that you're in, the surroundings. It's like Ben mentioned, it's a very stressful life out there. But when you go to the OHI Institute, it's just a very peaceful and relaxed environment, isn't it?
Well, you're back in nature, you see. They've got beautiful gardens there, and the trees and the flowers are beautiful. And I think it's like a little view of heaven, really, that this is what it's going to be like with, you know, people who love the Lord all around you. And I think we all deserve to have a little glimpse of that. So you can try and do it in your home, or if you can get away to one of these places. Even, you know, people go on retreats. People have always gone on retreats. And this is just a retreat where they put the physical side together with the mental side and the spiritual side, of course. And it really seriously works.
Because I suppose in the society that we live in today, we're quite closed in sharing our emotions and sharing how we feel. But somehow the Institute there, they find a way to let all our feelings out and share everything with other people.
Well, I was there at Hippocrates for, I think, 4 months, and I made the most wonderful friends. You know, I was doing the teacher training course, of course, there, so I was there much longer than most people. But just the most amazing people, and you're sharing at your real soul level. You know, you're coming out, you're not making any pretense. Everybody's in tracksuits and you're swimming together, you're running together. You become really relaxed with these people, and they've become huge friends. And although most of them are in America, we had people all over the world who came there. The science was wonderful that we learned, and you know, these sanctuaries in San Diego and Texas are not the only ones. There are plenty of them. What I want to start is one here in Spain. We ought to have a Revelation Christian health center. That would be amazing.
We certainly have the right surroundings for it, in the wonderful mountains and sunshine.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've got the avocado pears growing right outside the door, you know, and healthy walks, and it's all here for people. So even on my simple little weeks, people get a touch of how lovely it could be.
Because it's getting yourself in the right mind, and you can say it's finding yourself, because even after many years of people don't really know who they are as well, do they? But when you go on something like that, you discover who you really are deep down.
That's right, and people have had to conform, you know. People, if they're at university and they feel they have to drink because everyone around them is having a drink, and so they get into bad habits. I mean, we all know how these things happen, and it's good to get right away from that sort of competitive, you know, the world where we're having to always make a sort of special, perhaps an impression that we think is going to impress other people. Yeah. But when you're with friends you really love and trust, you can be yourself and come back to your true nature.
I could say from my personal experience, to be honest, growing up from a teenager, I think the teenage years are the hardest, because you're still trying to discover who you really are, and you, in a way, you find you're adapting yourself to how the people are around you. And then when I finally did discover who I am and what I am about, you just feel so content in yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely right. Yes, and school is hard for a sensitive child. I mean, I was an only child, and I found it really hard to be thrust in with, 40 screaming little girls. It was quite scary, actually, to start with. And I think only children have that problem. And you're an only child as well, aren't you?
Indeed, yeah.
So yeah, I think, and you're left much more to yourself to forge your way, which actually is a really good thing for later on, because you're used to doing it. You're used to forging your own way. There's no brothers and sisters there to help you until you find your Christian brothers and sisters. And then, wow, we've suddenly arrived and life is completely different. So yeah, it's tough, and we hear a lot about the bullying at schools that happens now. And for children who are sensitive, that's, we know that a lot of children take their lives because they're so bullied and so miserable. And we have to find a sanctuary. We have to find a place where we are loved unconditionally, and that, this is the love of Jesus, of course. Yeah. And when these people come to a place like the Christian Health Institutes, perhaps for the first time in their lives, they found a place where they can really be loved and learn about the love of Jesus.
Okay, well, we have a testimony coming up now from a lady called Wisdom, who overcame breast cancer, and she attended the institute. Let's take a look at her story.
Well, in 2009, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 3, 15 centimeters, which is a little bigger than a newborn's baby head. And I went the traditional route against my better judgment. I had 2 rounds of chemo, without going into details. Before I was done with the second round, I was healed. And so I knew that I needed to really pump up the nutrition and everything, but circumstances, I didn't. So it returned September 2011. So I came to OHI in November 2011, and I spent 3 weeks. Amazing, totally amazing. It's not just nutrition, it's the spirit and the place itself. It's just so healing. It allowed me to even be so open and free that I started writing and completed the first draft of my book about my journey. I called it Passing Through a Breast Cancer Land. People come here to detox, to revamp their life, to change their lifestyle, because I think this is all about lifestyle. Some people are scared when they, hear detoxing. What, just eating grass? It's not just about grass. And, it's a healing environment. And people who come Sunday night and, oh gosh, I hate the place, I can't stand it, by Friday or even before, they're giving testimonials Friday morning saying, I wanted to leave, I'm glad I didn't leave, this is the best thing I could have ever done for my life. Wheatgrass is one of the most powerful food, if not the most. It's very close to our blood composition. It's very healing. It can do a myriad of things with wheatgrass. So that's why it's like very #1. It's top priority in the program. You drink it every day. Do other stuff with it too. I just can't say enough. I'm just so excited about the place.
Hi there, welcome back. I mean, from all the testimonies that we're watching there, it really has changed people's lives, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and she got well. You see, she had the chemo which reduced the tumor, and she thought she was healed, but you go back to the same lifestyle, and of course it comes back, and you've got to change the whole lifestyle. And so now she's really done that, and she's really living the life You see how happy she looks. She looks amazing.
Now, a question I want to ask you is about changing our lifestyle, but we all live a very busy life. Now, how do we look after what we're eating, and do we have enough time to be eating the right food?
Well, it's the fastest food in the world, because, you know, unzipping a banana, just eating an apple, you don't have to cook. And when I think of the hours that I spent cooking food, which I now know was destroying all the living enzymes, but I mean, how crazy is that? Because we were taught, you know, you cook for your family. What a joy to now know that you don't have to cook for your family. You can actually eat nearly all raw. And what I do cook are baked potatoes in the jackets, brown rice with lots of garlic and onions. I love my food. I think it's absolutely great. And I have no desire whatsoever to eat animal protein.
Yeah, I mean,
so much cheaper as well.
Just give an idea of a good diet, Felicity, of some, let's say your average day, what do you eat?
Okay, well, the great thing is to rehydrate. So we start the morning with the water with the lemon, a little bit of fresh lemon squeezed in the water. Drink that, so that's the first drink of the day. The second drink of the day is the bicarbonate of soda, so more water, just half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, stir it up so it's a white drink. And so now you've had 2 8-ounce glasses. Then you start your juices. And we find that when people get in that routine, they alkalize the body and they really start to heal. Even if they go on and have cooked food after that, at least you've given the body a chance. And, you know, we used to be told you must breakfast like a king and dine like a pauper, you know. And in fact, it's quite wrong, because the body has these rhythms, and we're supposed to be detoxing really till about lunchtime. And so if you just have juices in the morning, because you've got to rehydrate the body, that's vital. So you rehydrate with the good alkaline juices, and then you can go into salads, or you can go into you know, your fruit and vegetables for lunch. So that's all I have, actually, and I love the you know, the energy drinks are so much better for us.
Now it's the summertime, and it's when we go on holiday, it's maybe not as easy to keep up with our diets. What sort of recommendations can you give to our viewers?
Well, you can always, you mean if you're in a hotel or something, you can always choose melon and avocado pears and salads. You know, they're pretty well everywhere, so you don't have to go back to the mad diet again. And my favorite hot drink is the hot water, honey, lemon and ginger, and that's really good even in very hot weather. It's lovely to have that. In fact, I was taught that in India when I was doing an Ayurvedic course as well. Ayurvedic medicine is very interesting, medicine from India. Did Chinese medicine as well. And it's really interesting to see what's been used for thousands of years. And the Western diet, of course, has got so processed and is the most damaging diet in the world, our processed chemical food. I call it PHUD instead of FOOD, because it's just so chemical. And you know, we've got the wrong fats, salts, and sugars in all the processed foods. So really, our diet is the worst in the world.
Yeah, we live here in Spain, and it's a very healthy diet, the Mediterranean diet, because it's all fresh fruits and vegetables, and you compare the Spanish, for example, and they're so healthy.
Yes.
They're very physical, and they do a lot of exercise, but they're most importantly, they always eat the right foods.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And we're very lucky to have the sunshine as well, because then people are more out in the fresh air and sunshine. They're, you know, walking around and not just living in their cars as people do in America. You know, people get in a car to go and have dinner with the neighbors.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and we need to walk.
Yeah.
You know, our bodies are meant to take this exercise.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
When we say we need to walk, it's so simple. We can all do it. I mean, there's no excuse really that you don't have time. We can all do it. And even that means you're driving in your car and you have to park the car a slight further distance away than you normally do. Just do it.
I know, yes. You know, we kid ourselves that we don't have time. And in fact, our time here is limited, and we should really prioritize what we do with our time. And so, you know, time to turn the computer off. I tell myself that at night. 10 o'clock, you know, time to turn the computer off. I don't always do it. I'm usually on there till about 1 in the morning, which is crazy. But I know what is right, and I start to feel sleepy about 9:30, 10, which of course is normal, because as it gets darker, the melatonin in the body starts saying, right, and it's a hormone that's saying, time, you should be tucking down and going to bed now. And of course we have electric lights, and we have our computers, and we go on maybe all night working. But it's not the way God intended. We're supposed to be creatures of habit, where we have a time for eating, which is noon really till, you know, noon through till 8 o'clock. You shouldn't eat after 8 o'clock. And then you're digesting the next 8 hours, and then you're eliminating the next 8 hours. And that's the way we get really well and stay well.
And what about the importance of sleep? I mean, how important is that?
Well, it's really, really important, because that's when the body can actually regenerate. You know, the cells are working all the time trying to regenerate new healthy cells, get rid of the old cells that have died. And we have to do that elimination. And if we're not sleeping, we're not giving our body time to do these housekeeping tasks, you know, we're not going to stay well at all. When we're deprived of sleep, it's a real torture to be deprived of sleep.
How many hours of sleep should we have a
We
day?
should have about 6, 7, 8. It depends on the age. You know, teenagers have to sleep hours and hours, because they're processing so much in their minds and trying to adapt to this crazy grown-up life.
I wonder if that's probably why the Spanish are so healthy, because they have so many siestas.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's really hot in the afternoons here, so perhaps it's healthy, and you get a good night's sleep in the evening as well, because if you sleep too much in the daytime, maybe you don't sleep at night. But the healthy thing is to get you a really good sleep, and for that I'm glad I've got the patches, because the patches are amazing. I got into a very unhealthy thing of working, you know, down here with the TV and preparing my programs and working maybe 20 hours. I was 20 hours a day on the computer, and that is so bad for the body. So now I put the patches on at night, and I sleep beautifully and wake feeling really refreshed. That's marvelous.
And if the viewers want further information about the patches, where can they get that?
They can just contact me about them. Yeah, they're really good. Very simple. There's no medication, there's no drugs, there's no chemicals, and it's just a way of firing the melatonin in your body to work better. So it's entirely natural. What a joy.
Okay, well, the last video you saw with Wisdom, she mentioned about wheatgrass. So let's take a look at the benefits of wheatgrass.
Welcome everyone. Today we're taking a look at wheatgrass, a product that I've recently been researching and finding to pack a great deal of benefits. Always consult your physician when you're considering introducing something new to your diet. This outline is based on my personal experience with wheatgrass. Be sure you conduct your own research before taking this or any other product. Links to additional information can be found in the About section below. The consumption of wheatgrass in the Western world began in the 1930s as a result of experiments conducted by Charles Snobel. Snobel's research was conducted with wheatgrass grown outdoors in Kansas, which required 200 days of growth through the winter and early spring. Wheatgrass grown indoors in trays typically takes about 10 days and provides similar nutritional content as wheatgrass grown outdoors. The health properties of wheatgrass range from cancer prevention to detoxifier. It helps increase blood flow and digestion. Wheatgrass is rich in chlorophyll, although it carries roughly the same vitamin content as most vegetables such as protein, beta-carotene, vitamin E, C, B12, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, iron, and potassium. It packs quite a punch for a low-maintenance, easy-to-grow food source. My reasons for taking wheatgrass is that it's a great all-natural detoxifier. It also helps in production of hemoglobin, the chemical in red blood cells that carries oxygen. It helps improve blood sugar disorders, aids in wound healing, and acts as a preventative measure from bacterial infections. Additionally, it helps reduce high blood pressure and aids in reducing cholesterol by blocking its absorption. I'm currently taking wheatgrass in powder form, although ideally you want to grow and juice it so that you're getting the full range of benefits. It has very little if any side effects and packs a lot of benefits into a single dose. So far, I've been very satisfied including wheatgrass into my regimen and found it to be a great asset when it comes to weight loss, building lean muscle mass, and workout recovery. Wheatgrass is certainly worth looking into when you consider all the benefits packed into this simple, low-maintenance, easy-to-grow food source.
Hi there, viewers, and welcome back. That was just a small introduction into wheatgrass and the benefits. Like they mentioned, it's a cancer prevention.
Yes, because it's got laetrile in it. It's got the B17, the laetrile, which we've almost eliminated from our diets. So wheatgrass is a good way of getting it, and also the apple seeds, of course, are a good way of getting it, and the grape seeds. So really the wheatgrass is the complete food. You know, special forces are told when all else fails, you eat the grass, because you can survive. You can actually survive in quite good health by just eating the grass. But if you've ever tried to eat grass, it's not particularly pleasant or easy to do. You have to chew like mad. And that's why, of course, the juicers are just amazing for that. So you have a special part of the juicer. You have to, when you buy your juicer, you have to ask if that's okay for wheatgrass. Sometimes you have a special attachment for doing the wheatgrass. You can actually get a little, very inexpensively, you can get a little plastic one that you actually crank by hand. So if all the electricity has gone out, you can actually go on eating your wheatgrass.
I mean, what is the ideal amount of wheatgrass we should be taking? How many glasses would you advise?
Well, you take 2 ounces in the morning before you have anything else to eat or drink. So it's on an empty tummy. And when we were training, we had to go along to the wheatgrass hut in the morning, very early, probably 7 o'clock in the morning. And you would actually juice your own wheatgrass, which you had grown, and you'd put in the fridge. So you get out the wheatgrass and you do it. We're all in the room together doing our wheatgrass, and putting a little bit of lemon with it perhaps. Then you have that. And then the next thing you will have is, which is served to you, is the cucumber juice, just pure cucumber juice. And then the next one will have a few sunflower sprouts and buckwheat sprouts juiced into it as well. So that's basically what you have. And then at lunchtime you have a salad, and they have this wonderful buffet where they put out masses of different kinds of salad, and you know, the sunflower sprouts, the buckwheat sprouts. Not a lot of colour. I mean, they haven't got tomatoes and things there, but it's all green salads, and really interesting. Most people have never experienced this kind of food.
And it's good for weight loss as well, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant for weight loss. Absolutely brilliant. Quite a lot of, you know, film stars and celebrities and people go, and every year they go and do a 3-week detox, because they've made enough money to be able to afford it, and probably spend all that money having all the drink and the rich food, and then they go and have 3 weeks to detox themselves. How much better to live on it and feel amazing all the time.
Just give an idea to our viewers, what is the process, the exact process of growing your own wheatgrass?
Well, you buy the organic seed, and it's the winter wheat berry is the best seed, and so you have to make sure that it's fresh, that it hasn't been in the shop for a long time. So I buy from a grower, and then you just put it in the special cases that you get to grow it in, or the Fresh Life sprouter, which is the very easy way. That's absolutely foolproof, because it waters itself in the machine. You know, it has the drum of water below, so you don't have to keep remembering to water the wheatgrass. And you soak it first. You soak the seed, and then you lay it out, you spread it out on the trays, and you have to water it, you have to cover it to start with, because remember, in nature, the seed would be covered up in the earth to grow. Then when it starts to shoot these little tails, it's starting to grow. You know, it's really exciting watching all this, it's fun. And then you uncover it, and it greens up. And in about 11 days, if you've got nice sunshine, you have 11 inches of grass.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing from this tiny seed.
Excellent. And what about the other raw foods that we can be growing ourselves? It's so easy to grow, isn't it?
Well, you can do the radish, or buckwheat sprout, or we can do the fenugreek. You know, there's masses of these sprouts, because you see, when they're growing so fast like that, they're absolutely filled with nutrients. It's not like an old bit of broccoli, you know, that's been in the supermarket a fortnight probably and might have been flown in from somewhere. This is actually something you're growing yourself. You know that no chemicals have been near it, and you're actually able to juice it or eat it. You can eat these, you know, watercress, most people understand watercress that you can eat, and it's really fresh. I love the parsley as well. I grow parsley and chives, and it all tastes delicious. And so you can incorporate that in your diet as you gradually move. You know, we can't always move from one diet, the mad diet, to the complete vegan diet, raw vegan. If people are really ill, of course, with cancer or diabetes, they have to do that. But for most people, they can gradually move to the healthy diet, and
it's eliminating. I think that's that's where they probably need to start, is eliminating the bad foods. What advice would you give, because it's summertime and people are going to barbecues and everything? I mean, how can people overcome that temptation?
Keep off the sausages. It's the sausages that still, you know, when my son's having a barbecue and he invites me round and I see all those sausages sizzling there and that's a tough moment.
Do you still struggle after all these years?
Do you have
Felicity?
Vegan sausages, I say? Have you got vegan sausages? And sometimes he does those for me. So they've just got vegetables inside and grain. So that's all right. And I no longer want to have the meat sausage, actually, because I think of what happened to the poor pig, the pork, as the pork was produced, and we've done programs on that. It's horrendous how they're treated. And so, you know, there is organic meat, of course, which is slightly different, but they're still slaughtered. And so, no, I really don't want to go back to animal meat. I really don't. You know, even chicken. You think how awful when you see these lorries going along with crates of those poor birds all stuck in sort of 24 in a cage, you know, and desperate for air and not able to flap their wings their whole life. I mean, it's awful. So yeah, I'm really keen on the raw vegan diet.
Excellent. What about magnesium? What's the importance of magnesium?
Oh, well, we all need magnesium. That's the thing that relaxes us. You know, it's a wonderful mineral, and nearly everybody is short of magnesium. So you get the best magnesium in the world from the green leafy vegetables.
Right.
So again, juicing and cooking as minimally as you can. You know, steaming maybe, if you want to steam some of the vegetables that are quite hard to eat raw, like the broccoli. I steam my broccoli and then I put lots of herbs with it, and delicious. Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the right foods to stop eating, the right foods to start eating, and it's a lifestyle change, like we mentioned. Now, what about exercise? How important is exercise?
Well, we've got to exercise because we've got to oxygenate the body, and you know, when we oxygenate the body, the cells have a chance to really develop properly, and we have electricity as well in the body, which we have to, you know, if we're living on processed foods and we're not exercising, then we're not using any form of natural electricity. And so exercise is really important, to get out there and get in the sunshine and the fresh air, better than being in the gym, because most people I know go to the gym and hurt themselves sooner or later. You know, it's tempting because you're trying to lift too much, or you're trying to strain because other people are there, and you're trying to be as.
But I think it's if some of our viewers maybe have never exercised before, or has been many years since they last exercised, it's a process, and they can just start slowly. They can start by walking or jogging, and then build it into running.
Yes, that's a good idea, to build it into running. And the jogging, which of course is great, but if people have got problems, if they're very overweight, then you literally cannot start by jogging, because you're going to damage your hips and your knees and your ankles. So you've got to pace yourself, and if you go to a gym, a personal trainer is the answer.
Okay, Felicity, well, we have come towards the end of today's programme, so thank you so much for joining us. Thank you also to our viewers today for joining us. Remember, we've covered a number of videos on today's program. So Revelation has a new website, so please check out our website. It's www.revelationtv.com, and you see a section called Get Well, Stay Well, where you can watch our videos again. So thanks so much for joining us, viewers. Look forward to seeing you same time next time on Revelation TV. God bless and take care. Bye.